And good morning, everybody. Tuesday morning, just a couple of days in front of Thanksgiving. All I got to do is think of Thanksgiving, and I've gained 14 pounds. I absolutely love Thanksgiving. How can a fat guy not? Pretty much my favorite day of the year, and my Halloween candy's not even done. Whatever will I do? Just too close together. It's too close together. As you can see, I'm all by myself today. Rich Waslick could not make it in today due to his, real work schedule. Morning, Stan. So anyway. Who wants to look at my mug? I can just go ahead and, it's like, all right, you don't have to look at me at all. We can do it this way. Watch. We can, there's many ways we can fix that problem. And there you go. See, you can't even see me now. You can see my hand there. Hi. I think it is. Where are we? Anyway, good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming on in today. It's a Tuesday morning, just a couple of days before the official start of the holiday season. I do not have my tree up yet. I do not have any lights up yet. I don't do anything, haven't done anything yet. Not at all. What about you? Do you have all that stuff up? Is your tree up? Do you put a real Christmas tree up? Do you put a fake Christmas tree up? I think a lot more people are starting to go more and more with artificial trees. Because they last longer, I guess. I don't know. I'm still a real tree guy. My mother was a real tree guy, and I guess that, pretty much was instilled in me. I just think that they just look nicer. Except, then we have we have one of those robot vacuums. Gets a lot of work during the real tree season. We've We've named them. I guess that's a thing. You name your robot vacuum. So it's going around picking up the pine needles. It's Dwayne the Vac Johnson. That's who we have. Dwayne the Vac Johnson. All right. It's kind of weird, just standing here and not talking to, it's like talking to a camera instead of talking to a co-host. So I need your help this morning. I need your help. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about is we do a lot of sports here at SNSN, whether it's high school sports or youth sports. We try to cover as much as possible in as many towns as possible. It's hard. It's not that easy, to be honest with you. People will go ahead and message me. Are you going to cover this? Are you going to cover that? We'd love to cover all of it, but it's just a matter of having people to go ahead and actually be there at different places. So that's what makes it a little bit difficult. So, but we tried. There's a couple of other methods I'm going to try out this year and see if they actually work. So, anywho, kind of like virtual stuff. You'll see what I mean, and hopefully it'll give us more of an opportunity to bring more and more sports to you here on SNSN, because especially with the CIAC guidelines and COVID-19 still being a thing. The state infection rate seems to be trending up again, but I think, I think that's always to be figured, because the flu is not a thing anymore. Apparently, the flu is just gone; it just doesn't exist anymore. We have nothing but COVID-19. So the CIAC guidelines for winter sports were just released, and I don't get them. I don't understand them or see how they make sense. Maybe you can help me see how they make sense, but I sure as hell can't figure it out. So I'm going to put them right up on the board here, so you can see if you have not seen them yourself. If you're a fan of high school sports or just you follow the kids in general. Let's see. There we go. You should be seeing that up on your screen now. Try to go to okay, so the CIAC guidelines for winter sports. The first one on the list is basketball. There's not really any ice hockey around here. I don't know if Norwich Tech is still playing ice hockey over at the Norwich rink, but everybody's pretty much playing basketball, boys and the girls, pretty much every school. So here's the existing fall guidance. Now, the fall guidance is what is in effect now, like football, volleyball, that kind of stuff. Masks are required in all indoor settings. Now, the new guidelines are going to be set up by vaccination status. Basically, if you're fully vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask during games. But if you're not, or even if you're only partially vaccinated, well, you have to wear a mask then too. But here's where it gets weird for me, and I don't understand this at all. So, fully vaccinated participants, masks are not required during the game. So if you're actually playing in the game, we're going to use basketball as a baseline for this. If you're fully vaccinated, you don't have to wear one in the game. However, masks are required in all other settings, like at practice, sidelines, sitting on the bench in the locker rooms, and so forth. That's where the disconnect comes in for me personally. Now, if anybody has ever watched a basketball game, whether it be on TV or if you're going to a high school basketball game, these kids are they're leaving it all out on the court, and it's pretty much smash mouth sports. They're running up and down the court. They're sweating. There's condensation flying everywhere. They get underneath the boards. They're fighting for every rebound they can get, second chance points, whatever. Why are they saying that masks are not? They're not required there, but they are on the bench. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. To me, personally, it just seems like it's segregation. Because I don't know how it makes sense at all that you need to sit on the bench, social distance, and wear a mask, yet you can be right on top of somebody, down in the paint, jumping up for a rebound, breathing in each other, almost kissing, and you don't need to wear a mask if you've had your vaccinations. But if you've had your vaccinations and you're sitting on the sidelines, you got to wear one. Somebody tell me how that makes sense. Scott Fryer, are you available to jump in virtually? Yeah, Victoria, you are spot on. That's exactly what I'm thinking. So many issues with that rule. Way to divide people even further. Yeah, I don't see how it can be anything different. It makes absolutely zippo sense to me. Aaron Neville in the room says, why are you not working? So if an athlete is blocking a player in his or her face, no mask is required, although in a locker room, sitting 6 feet apart, they are. Yeah, that's exactly what they're saying, Michael David. That's exactly what they're saying. It makes zippo sense, zero. I don't get it. If somebody can rationalize that to me, please let me know. And I'm not trying to be a smart ass. I'm not trying to be hateful. I really want to know how this makes sense and why they think it's a good idea. If you're not vaccinated, then you have to wear a mask at all times. Okay. If that's the rule, that's the rule. But that doesn't mean that people that are vaccinated or unvaccinated are not susceptible to COVID-19. Whether you're vaccinated or not, you're still susceptible to it. You still can get it. So is this, somebody's way of saying, well, we're going to give you sports. This is how you get it, whether you like it or you don't. I'm thankful they're just playing, because they've shown us in the last year and a half to 2 years that they can take it away if they want to. They can just, boom, take it away. Michael says higher powers attempting to gain authority is what it comes down to, I believe. I just think it's division. It's just further division, because you know how it is. It's like, hey, he's wearing a mask. He must not be vaccinated. Ooh, we got to stay away from him or her. Oh, look, no mask. Ah, good. We can hang out. It doesn't make any sense. It makes zero sense. Cindy says, for God's sake, make it make sense. It doesn't. It doesn't even come close to making sense. Victoria, the state spews their equity claims. Equity? Yeah. Equity claims concerning school, vaccinations, and everything else these days. And then you see this. Yeah, I don't get it. And again, I'm not trying to be facetious. I'm not trying to be hateful. I'm not trying to be difficult in any way. But uh, as rational as I can be, I've tried to chew on this pretty much for the last 12 hours, and I can't seem to make heads or tails of it. Now, the guidelines are pretty much the same right on down the pike. Even cheerleading and dance. Fully vaccinated participants, masks not required during competitive routines and should not be used during stunting, tumbling. Masks required in all other settings. So I just happen to have a beautiful girlfriend who teaches cheer. So I get to see a lot of this stuff. So if you're doing a pyramid and you have some that are vaccinated and some that are not, everybody is touching. What is the difference? Partially vaccinated or unvaccinated participants, masks required during competitive routines and in all their other settings. And they go into saying practice, sidelines, bench, locker rooms, blah, blah, blah. Masks may be removed temporarily for between stunting and tumbling, but must be immediately replaced. It's almost laughable. I mean, anybody that has watched or seen basketball at all, and you know how tough of a game that is. It is actually probably in some sense more physical than football. I mean, yes, you have an offensive and defensive line that clash, every time the ball is snapped, but they're also wearing helmets, some of them with shields, full padding, and they're pretty much have a full suit of armor on them. In basketball, you're on a tank top and shorts. Not that that's really going to protect anything over anything, but wouldn't you think it would be a little more risky? Cindy, who teaches with Melissa, so basically my girls are going to have to pull a mask down for stunting and tumbling, put it right on, right back up, makes 0 sense. The vaccination doesn't prevent a person, says Victoria, from getting COVID. They can also spread it. So how is that different from unvaccinated in this case? What about wrestling? Well, I was getting there because I was curious about that too. Wrestling is also a winter sport. The current guideline: masks should not be worn in match or during a practice while actively grappling. Masks required in all other settings. Okay. Now, for vaccinated people, masks should not be worn in match or during practice while actively grappling. Masks required in all other settings. Pretty much the same. Non-vaccinated or partially vaccinated, masks should not be worn in match or during practice while actively grappling. It's the same thing. So now the equation really gets screwy. Whether you're vaccinated or not, you don't have to wear one when you're wrestling. Yet, if you're on the basketball court and you're not vaccinated, you have to wear one. I don't know. It's They don't make sense from one to the other. So now with COVID-19, or I should say with wrestling, if you do not have if you're not vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. But if you're not vaccinated, you got to wear one in basketball. The frick? Are you any closer together? In wrestling? Probably. But not much. Not much different. There's a lot of wrestling going on underneath the hoop in the paint, looking for a rebound, looking for second chance shots, jockeying for position. They're fighting, duking it out. EJ Bissett says typical problem with committees making guidelines. You probably had people for quote unquote no masks with vaccine and others wanting masks at all time. They compromised on something like this that does not make sense. I'm glad the kids do have a full season and parents can be there. Last year sucked. Yeah, I mean, here they are making you feel thankful for something that you should be able to have anyway. I mean, sure, we should all feel thankful, I guess, for things in our life that we have. But this is something that has been, ever since I've been in school, you get to go to a ball game. You get to go to a basketball game, a wrestling match, a track meet. Then they took it all away. And they want you to feel just how special you are now that you get to go again. Aren't we special? We get to go to see high school sports again, sporting contests, whatever. They're allowing us under these guidelines. You can go, but you got to do this. And then we're going to divide you into two sections. Because you know damn well, there's going to be little Johnny basketball player out on the court, and he's going to be wearing a mask. And some parents are going to be sitting there going, why didn't their parents vaccinate him? Right, wrong, or indifferent, they're going to say it. Will they say it out loud? No. But they're thinking it. Oh, gee, Jennifer, basketball player out there. She's doing a great job. She's not wearing a mask. Why would her parents do that to her? Make her get vaccinated, even if she didn't want to. They're saying it. They're thinking it. Can't tell me that they're not. Segregation. Ray Bones. Good morning, Ray. Says the blind leading the blind. I think EJ makes a lot of sense, saying, okay, we'll give you a little bit of this, and this other group over here wants a little bit of this. So we're going to come together and make something that makes no sense. But we're going to allow you to play. Because we have that power. What are they basing these guidelines on? Who decides what is the final decision? Well, from what I have seen, talking to heard from different health professionals in our area, most of it comes down from the State Department of Health, who gets their guidance from Washington and maybe the CDC. And then they trickle that down. They trickle that down to the different districts and into the schools. And then, the different health departments, whether it's Northeastern District Department of Health, NDDH,